Satan, Demonio, Dinaja, Abarera, Legos, Ram, Ori, Banish, 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 Satan, Demonio, Dinaja, Abarera, Legos, Naja. Abarera. Nikos. Ram. Ori. Banish. C10. Demonio. Dinaja. Abarera. Nikos. Ram. Ori. Banish. C10. Demonio. Dinaja. Abarera. Nikos.
Hello, everybody. How is it going? Welcome to Apocrypha. I am Atius Dade, and that is Mystic Salon sticking his thumb in the camera.
I'm the hidden voice.
So if y'all notice that I'm a little slow today, it's because it's hot as fuck where I'm at. The last 3 days have been hitting 102 degrees, and I've had enough. I've had enough. I've been sitting here, falling asleep, watching the Hulk, waiting for the time to come up towards doing the show, and yeah, it's just horrible. It's just absolutely horrendous. Yeah, Mystic's enjoying his weather. He's an asshole.
It was hot as fuck today. Almost 197 was our high, but our nights are still like 75, 72. So it's gorgeous right now. Like, it's beautiful out right now.
So Mystic
probably gonna stay here till after midnight.
Mystic just pulled a weatherman fuck up, or at least a weatherman display fuck up. Because the way you said that, it sounded like you said it was hot as hell, like hot as fuck. It was 197. Like, I think everybody in Florida would be dead.
No, people in Florida are strange, man. I think they've got that leather skin. They can probably handle it.
It'd be like cockroaches. The rest of the country burns alive. Florida and Texas is all that's left. I don't even think Texans would survive. Like that, with the snow that they've had recently and shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know how they can.
Yeah, no.
With the storms and the way things have been going lately, it's been nuts.
Yeah, because when I was up there, I was not expecting to be as cold as it was. Like, I was freezing my ass off, and it felt horrible to say that. Like, I would tell people, I'm freezing my ass off. Where are you, Texas?
Hey, look, I was just in Delaware and it was freaking gorgeous there.
Northeast, yeah, Northeast is gonna be getting pretty good right about now.
Yep, they're having just flat out beautiful. Philadelphia this week was so nice.
Yeah, I mean,
hello, Divination Witch.
August rolls around in the Northeast, and it's just like the thing I noticed about upstate New York, like, and New York City. Winters, the frostbite will kill you, and then the summer, like, if you can breathe outside, you're lucky.
Yeah, that's about right.
Like,
well, the other thing too is, from my experience in like Virginia, during the summer the nights are hotter even than they are down here. It's like there's no, like, south, and you're close to the equator and stuff. Like, you have bigger cycles of temps in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's like 100 in the day, 72, 75 at night, 175. Up north, it was like 98 in the day, but 82 at night.
Yep. You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
And that made it suck.
Yeah, it does. Like, upstate New York is the same way. Is the same exact way. And I hate it. But yeah, it's dropping down to, I think the lows here right now are like 60 something, like 67, 68 in the evening, and
typical desert weather.
Yeah, and then by like not like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, it's like 90. you know, and then by 12-1, you're sitting at 100, 102. And to
ours hits later.
answer the question there, Sad World, no AC. Just a good old fan, right?
Nah, never gonna have him.
Yeah. So it's not fun. It's not fun. But I am trying to find a place, an apartment. I'm going from a house to an apartment, but the reason for that is because I want an apartment that has a pool, a gym in the building, and AC already installed, like the mini splits.
Yeah.
So
Mini splits are amazing. We had one put in our garage, and it does. I mean, it cools the garage better than our, 5,000, 10,000 watt, whatever one does for the whole house. They're amazing.
Yeah, mini splits are good. So what is it in Celsius? You're probably sitting around 42 degrees Celsius. Yeah, 42, 43.
Yeah, we don't talk in those bad words around here. Ain't no Celsius. We all in F's. F this, F that. That's what I call it, Fahrenheit. I hope it's a good message.
Who? What? Me? I'm working out some credit stuff. So, yeah, no, yeah, it's 43, something like that.
F this heat.
Right? No, I am not in Texas. I am not in Texas. F this, F that. Yes, exactly. Hail thy imperial system. Yeah, I think we're like the only country in the world that's left that still uses
two.
Oh, there's two. Okay.
And I cannot remember. Like the other one is some obscure one.
What the fuck is that?
What the hell? I have no clue what just happened.
You just had a bunch of balloons fly by your face.
I know. It was great. I have no clue what happened there.
That was random.
In here?
Oh, that was good. That was good. That was random. I was like, what the hell is that?
Did it show in stream? I need to know.
I don't know if it showed on stream, but I'm thinking it did because everybody's laughing about it.
Yeah, balloons. They just randomly threw balloons around my back. Like, it was a ghost. I was just thinking about my dad.
Wait, is that a thing
I
you
was
can
laughing
do?
the other day with my mom, and I'm like, I sound exactly like my dad. That's really creepy.
There you go.
Serial killer man. How does that happen?
That's what I'm trying to check right now. That's what I'm trying to check right now.
Like, I didn't hit anything. What happens if I hit the rocket? What does that do? I think that launches games.
We've got, what, sounds? Did you hear that?
Myanmar and Liberia. Yeah, I knew there were some really weird ones, like obscure ones that kind of still used the imperial system with.
Did you hear that?
We don't need to hear the story of your life in one word, in one sound.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of there's a lot of them too. Like I guess you can set up your own sounds and stuff like that.
Oop.
Like, what is this one?
I still want to know how the balloons happen.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like, I didn't touch anything over here. Rook, do you know?
Yeah, you guys heard it. Okay, so they can hear the sounds, so that's kind of cool.
And they saw the balloons.
Yeah, but I don't see anything for like balloons or anything like that.
99 luck balloons.
Yeah, I don't see anything for balloons. I see like the sounds. I don't see anything that would do balloons or anything. Oh, there's a lot of these that I just want to use. I didn't know you could set this. I gotta set this up for our server.
It's so weird.
Like these little sounds.
Oh my god. Anywho.
Right? What big decks do you have for us this evening?
Today, I brought a favorite deck of mine, Dark Reflections. I think we've used it before. It's been a while.
Alrighty. Gotta love the minimalism.
Look into my reflecciones. I don't know why I said that with an accent. Maybe because they were just serving empanadas.
Possibly.
There's a lady
Possibly.
here selling empanadas.
No wrong with that.
If you'll ever
Nothing wrong with that.
come to this part of Florida, you have to try these places out. They're fucking amazing. But yeah, so Dark Reflections, we've used it before. It's a really cool deck, matte finish with this gloss like inlay in it, and it's really, really thick cardstock, which is one of the things I love. And it's the right size. Not
It's
too
always
big,
good.
not too little. It's Goldilocks' deck. The Goldilocks deck.
Yeah, I'm
Linda
sure.
Angel of hello.
I'm sure
Nocturne, I
that's what
didn't
you
see you
meant.
hop in. Hello. It is, well, duh. All right. Here we get. I was going to say something. I actually learned a new meditation. It's pretty cool. But it's
Did you?
windy, so we have to be very careful with these. We have the 6 of, and I'll show them, but I'm tucking them now so they don't blow away. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Y'all,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
y'all.
interesting. Y'all. All right, we're gonna make sure I get this right. So our first card is the 6 of Pentacles, then Ace of Wands and Judgment. So just so you have an idea of what this looks like here. And I apologize for the wind. It's kind of breezy.
You know, your camera and your iPad is better than the camera on your computer.
I'm very aware of that. That's one of the reasons why I actually don't mind doing this while I'm out and people are staring at me like, who the fuck is he talking to? But I'm sure they like our money too, so they don't care. So the 6 of Pentacles, our first card. One of the things I really like about the 6 of Pentacles is, well, I'm an Earth dude and I'm a Pentacles guy. But the 6 of Pentacles, it has, in this particular image, somebody down there looks like they're begging. But really, this is about getting what's owed, getting the right amount. This is paying your pence, paying your penance. So maybe there's a little bit of asking for forgiveness in there, but it's really, pay what you owe, settle your scores. So in the next week or so, the energy is really about settling, and it doesn't have to be financial, although this does lead to think it might be financial. It doesn't, because we've got some other cards here. This is, if you've done something or somebody's done something for you, you might want to pay them back or pay them a visit or even spend some time with them. Give them a little bit back for the things that you've taken. And not that that's a bad thing. It's just time to close the circle out. It's a really good energy to go along with our Ace of Wands here. Hold on, let me get this right. So this is what's leading me to believe it's something that's a little bit less financial driven, a little bit more like just, spend some time with the people that you care about that have done things for you that maybe you have forgotten to give a little bit back. And they don't need a lot. They don't need money. Well, everybody needs money, but they really are looking for your time and your energy and spending some time with them. That's what the Ace of Wands really is. It's that energy of passion and spending time and spending things creating with other people. It doesn't mean things that you own, things that you have to give. It's spending creative energy creating things with people. So far we've got to give back to some people, and these are specific people you're giving back to. You got to give back to the people that have given things to you. You just have to. And then that goes right along with our Judgment card. I love this Judgment card because it's very judgy. Very judgy. You've
Well,
got where my finger is, right? You've got the headstones.
yeah.
You've got the line marching, right? And where do you think they're marching to? Not up, not down. They're marching to the judge, right? At the end of that line, they're going to find out where they go. So again, this kind of goes in with our theme, I think, this week of paying. I hate saying paying dues because that's what the 6 of Pentacles usually means for me, is like paying dues, paying money that you owe. But coupled with the Ace of Wands, that's not what I'm feeling at all. This is definitely maybe some self-judgment's necessary. We realize you might have taken something from somebody or taken time or energy from somebody and you need to pay it back. I can't tell where to look at with my computer because the camera's on the side. It's weird. So yeah, that's the energy. That's what you need to do this week. You give a little bit back to the people you've taken stuff from. And I think the reason I keep hesitating when I say it is it's not like this isn't like a selfish thing where you like ruined somebody or taken all their stuff and blah blah blah. This is just a friend who's been there for you, and they've not really asked for anything back, and you need to offer it to them and give them something to do. Give them something of yours to give back and balance that out a little bit. So do that.
Mystic, this feels personal.
No, no, this is to me this is super small stuff. Like the way that I see it, and I'm probably obvious. You know how I read cards. I read cards. I feel that there's obviously connection there, but there's bias. There's always going to be bias, and it's a little self-serving, and it's a reminder that I need to spend. There's a very good friend of mine that's not but 2 hours from me, and she's always been there for me when I need her, and we just haven't seen each other in 3 years, and she's 2 hours away. So it's a reminder to spend some time going out and giving your energy, which is in time, which is the most valuable thing you have, to somebody that deserves it.
Truth. Could one also look at this as also perhaps maybe time that they've missed for themselves? Do you think?
I don't know. I have to pull another card for that.
Okay.
Another six, the Six of Wands. No. I would say this is definitely more. Oh, let me show the card. Definitely more of something that's a complete the circle kind of thing, right? Okay. Now we have a six to another card to a wands to a six. We've had a complete circle around in the cards. We've gone back to where we started. So to me, that's closing the circle on something.
Okay.
And I mean, for you, if it means self, then it can.
I mean, not for me personally.
That way.
I mean, not for me personally. But I was just curious if maybe somebody can, off the top of their head, think of, you know what I mean? Like why, like, you know, who they could owe or something like that, maybe potentially themselves.
I don't know. No court cards. But that does. Hold on, loud motorcycle.
I don't hear shit with your headset, man.
I love these headsets.
Bone conduction.
But it's loud. Yeah, they're amazing. But yeah. So no court cards, so I don't see any real like recommendation of who it's directed to. It's just think about it and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
2 6s in the same reading also kind of that's half the reading. That's right smack in the middle of a cycle. So probably not going to make much progress in some of the things we're doing unless we represent the people that have helped us get to what we're doing.
Well, I mean, I think it's always good to give back to those that have offered a hand to lift you up, you know? So it's always an important thing to keep in mind, to never forget where you've been, to understand better where it is that you are going.
Yeah. I interestingly just thought of something. I reconnected with somebody that actually is the person who gave me all of my opportunities and the reason why I'm where I'm at today for most part. And I've been thinking about writing her a letter and just saying, I haven't been in touch with you for 10 years, but you're the reason that I made it this far in this career. I got to do that.
That's always a plus. That's always a plus.
Yeah. And that Divine Witch, it's general reading for whoever wants to take it and use it. When I read in here, it's very kind of energy coming, which is obviously different than my personal reads that I do. Which I need to do more of those.
Yeah, it's just a general energy read for the whole chat and anyone that's listening to it, you know. So.
Those stalking people out. You don't owe them anything if somebody's stalking you.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I actually had a in-depth conversation yesterday with someone about the things that they need to be careful about when they do live streaming. His lips are moving, but there is no sound. He's ordering more drugs.
Sorry, I was ordering from my bartender. A single. No, don't please.
What?
So, for those, I think everybody knows by now. Like, usually where I'm at is at a kava bar. It's alcohol free. There's no liquor, no anything like that, which is really cool. It's where a lot of people come when they've quit drinking. And Rook and I both have not drank in over a month. That's kind of, we've stopped all forms of alcohol. And Heineken Zero tastes like shit, by the way, if anybody ever wondered. Their alcohol-free beer, it's disgusting. But anyway, so we just ordered a shot and a chaser. And this stuff does give you a buzz. Like you get a little high. And a little high, but without the impaired judgment thing, you know, like you do. It's not like
Yeah.
you can't drive. It has none of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of nice. And Sad World, the one we just drank, was 80% of what we drink is kratom. But what I just asked for is actually both kratom and kava, and it's the right ones, dude. He just asked me if I wanted a double. If I got a double, you think I'm hyper now already? I will be talking like 1,000 miles a minute, and I won't stop, and it just keeps going, and nobody can break in, and it's just how it is for the entire rest of the night. I've done other drugs in my life that you snort up your nose, and that's all I'm going to say. And this stuff is worse. when you need to pick me up.
Well, I mean, a pick me up is a pick me up, right?
Yep. It just puts you in a good mood.
Hey, I mean, that's good, man. I mean, I drank 2 Monsters, but it hasn't really done shit to me.
I gave up caffeine and Monsters also, because I was drinking 4 a day up until like 3 weeks ago. And the big Monsters.
Fucking Mystic's going straight edge on me.
I have to. We do plan on drinking the mead that we make still. Like we're still going to do that periodically with Ritual, but that'll be it.
I mean, I don't really drink. I mean, I think I had half a beer the other night. I couldn't finish it because it's just I haven't drank in like consistently in so long. Like it's just kind of like lost its pizzazz. I still like whiskey.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I am still a whiskey lover.
So cool thing, like at the other kava bar we go to, they sell, like, my favorite drink is an old fashioned, and they make a mocktail old fashioned with kratom.
Really?
And they actually use they smoke it with CBD, so the whole place smells like weed, and your drink smells like weed the whole time. It's so good.
That's crazy.
But no alcohol.
But no alcohol. Every other drug, but no alcohol.
Yeah. And yes, kratom does give you a mild opiate-like buzz because it does bind to your opiate receptors in your brain. That is a true statement. That is also why you have to be 21 up in most states, and they're trying to make it a scheduled substance. So, which is gonna suck.
I used to be so into coffee that, like, when I would do a Starbucks coffee, I would get like 6 shots of espresso in a latte. And like when I would ask for that, the people behind the counter would just kind of look at me like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, you hit 400 milligrams, that gets dangerous.
So
400 milligrams would be 3 shots at a time. Because each shot's about usually between 120 and 150. But one of the things that it kind of reminded me of, thank you, sir, is thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Sorry, guys. We're out in public. Okay. So drinking this stuff at the right time and smoking at the right time. Doing a double, y'all. He's on the sit. Actually does change how you practice. When we do rituals and stuff, this stuff really does affect how you think and can, to me, it's really helped me get into some trance-like states.
there you go.
Good.
Yeah, I'll just stick with the gummies. That's kind of my my go-to at this
And
point.
is this Kana or Kratom? So this is a third thing, if anybody's interested, called Kana. It's a different root that has a different effect.
I mean, I think that, I mean, that is a big topic of discussion right there, is like,
Yeah.
narcotics and ritual work. And when I say narcotics, I mean narcotics of any kind, right? Legal or
Controlled
illegal.
substances.
Like, some people think that, psychotropics lessen the effect. Other people think that it enhances it.
It does. It does.
Did you just say it does to both of those?
I did. It's just like when somebody uses ketamine for the right purposes. It's been very helpful with PTSD and untreatable depression. But in a person who doesn't have that, they get high off of it, right? There's a reason. What do they say? The difference between medicine and poison is the dose, right?
Yep.
So I do believe both of those. Like for me, it's been very helpful because my mind already goes 1,000 miles a minute. On certain substances, I have experienced different things, and if those things aren't any different to me than what I've experienced, like if I've done a really good solid trance, which you can get there the same way to me, but
I mean, me personally, I prefer my rituals to be done sober. That's just me. But I'm not gonna, talk down to anybody that thinks that taking a tab, is gonna help them kind of cross a line or something.
That's a good topic. I think on that same topic, what you just said, ritual. I don't think I've ever, or do I ever want to use any substance with ritual.
Mm-hmm.
But with just meditation and trance and like astral travel and that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So different reasons, and it depends on what you do too. Like, I don't think I'd want to trance with like, I don't want us to get with the. I don't know what they'll ban us for. Powdered sugar. I don't think you'd want to do that if you're trying to trance.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Exactly.
And you don't want to smoke weed either because you'll pass out and fall asleep in the first 3 minutes of your meditation.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. I disagree with that. I disagree with that as a general statement. Rituals are very dangerous. I wholeheartedly disagree with that as a general statement. I think rituals are a required aspect of human life, like to the mundane rituals and to the spiritual as well. I think that, if you know what it is that you're doing and you've been doing it for a while, I mean, there's nothing to worry about. I think the only time a ritual could potentially be dangerous is if it's like you have zero experience and you're jumping into, I don't know, knock on some, big demon's door. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to poke the bear or something. So, at that point, I would say, yeah, because I think if you're not, if you don't know what it is that like you're doing to protect yourself, right? It's like anything. If you don't know how to drive a car and you get behind a wheel of a car, that's dangerous as fuck. But if you know what you're doing, it's significantly less dangerous.
I think one good thing though about ritual, especially when you're learning or getting into something, depending on how you approach it, like I've always approached it as I'm the center of what I'm doing, right? And I am appealing to or inviting in or evoking certain things, and I've never been afraid in a ritual, but I have missed things. I have missed out on things in ritual because I'm not prepared, but I've never felt afraid. Now, in trying to lucid dream where I failed with that, in a past life regression where I didn't tether properly, in astral travel where I didn't pay attention to what I was doing, yeah, I felt scared in those things.
Yeah.
But in ritual, usually, like for me, I've always done the Wiccan thing, right? Even though I don't consider myself Wiccan, I still do that part of the practice. I still have to do the protection bubble and the circle and that has always made me feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably psychosomatic anyway.
In divination, which that is a bag of worms, I'm not even sure if I want to. A can of worms, I'm not even sure if I want to open at this point. But I am glad you put it in quotations. So it's like at that last statement there says not all rituals are quote unquote dark. So one of the biggest things that I consistently and constantly preach on the channel, both on this show and on Satan and Coffee, is the obsession that we have with the concepts of good and evil. My standpoint on the ideals of good and evil is that first and foremost, morality is a human compass, right? That's the first and foremost. Morality and what is considered objectively morally correct or incorrect is something that we have created as a compass to guide ourselves through life and not have all of our neighbors want to murder us. And it is our intention behind what it is that we're doing that kind of dictates the direction that moral compass is pointing. So the whole idea of light and dark, good and evil, magic and nature just exist. They are neither good or evil. They simply exist. You must have the light and the dark. They have to be working together at all times. And we see this just simplistically in how the world is comprised and built to function. On one side of the planet, it's dark. On the other side of the planet, it's light, right? And that is a constant wave back and forth of interchange that creates balance in nature. Nature is constructed in such a way that everything is built for balance. So for me, the concept of light and dark and good and evil, when we talk about those things, we talk about human morality. And unfortunately, to some degree, key phrase there is to some degree, human morality is subjective, not objective.
Yeah. I don't disagree with what you're explaining, because on the stage of, from the prospectus of a human being, from the center of that world, that is, I agree with 100%. I like to think of it, and I do this a lot. I think a lot in the terms of the Kabbalion, just because of the way it explains it, right? So everything has polarity, everything has gender, not like male, female gender, like it gendered. It's a completely different idea, but in the polarity, applying the phrase of saying they are the same in nature but differing in degree. Well, that's what good and bad is. Same in nature, differing in degree. And when you get to the polarities of those things, something that is only good and something that is only bad, those two things become completely interchangeable. There's no difference between them, because it's just like left and right. If you want to talk politics, red and blue, when you go to the extremes of both those ends of those polarities, that is when you experience the shift and the change between the two things. Neither one is good, and it always comes out that way. Like there's no way through it. And the ends of those polarities, when you get all the way to the end of it, you look at a fish through a fisheye lens, those you've circled right back around to the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
So the opposite of the polarity or the extreme is not the other extreme, it's the balance, right?
Yep.
So that's the one thing that has really driven me a lot lately in these kind of discussions, is trying to recognize that the further away you are from the balance, you're not getting more good or more bad. You're getting further away from the balance, which is what we all are.
Yeah, exactly. And Sad World, thank you for your 20th super chat of $6.66.
I love it.
And yeah, I mean, the universe, he says in his comment, he says the universe is both good and bad all in one. Can't have one without the other. And I mean, again, reiterating the point and kind of beating a dead horse here, but
beat it.
All right, Michael Jackson.
It's a hard topic.
It is a hard topic. because we're automatically drawn into that concept of good and bad.
Good and bad.
Exactly. And the only thing that I can say like that, and I've said this a million times, like in nature, you know, the sunrise, the sunset, the beautiful fiery colors of autumn, you know, those are all things that we take in awe and enjoy about nature. But nature's also a hurricane and a tornado and an earthquake and a volcanic eruption, you know, and a forest fire. You know, it's all of these things. And nature isn't evil because it has an earthquake or because it has a volcano or because there's, you know, a hurricane or a tornado. It just is part of nature.
It's assigned a value by us.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of good or bad, maybe an easy way to explain it is whenever you think of what's good and what's bad, or what's light and what's dark, or what's positive and what's negative, just think of what's A and what's Z.
Just different ends of the alphabet.
Yeah, just different ends. A's not good, Z's not good, A's not bad, Z's not bad. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
But human beings assign values to those things because that's how we understand things, is by organizing them, and that is helpful in our survival, but it's not helpful in spiritual development.
I mean, my coming to terms with this idea, this concept that I'm talking about, is because I don't want to be that person that only begins to understand this once I begin to suffer from some kind of terminal illness and I know that my days are numbered. Because we all come to this conclusion. Like, I mean, and I think Gray put it perfectly. Cancer is a living thing. You know, that cancer is the biggest one, I think, that we see this happen constantly where children begin to act more mature than the parents, you know, understanding that their time is numbered, right? That understanding the true finite nature of their lives and not being angry about it. Maybe being depressed, maybe being disappointed, but not being angry about it. Understanding and accepting there's nothing we can do about this. You know, this is just a part of life, the end of it. And so my idea of kind of this, you know, talking about these polarities and in my attempt to understand, you know, what these, you know, polarities mean for us is because, like I said, I don't want to be that person that has to wait for my deathbed to have an understanding that there are things that I can't control. Most things I can't control.
But if it is, and that is when it happens, then that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know.
It's weird. There's one of those things like I think I mentioned it before. I don't even know if I did or not, but there is a specific native pine tree in southern Florida that's all around where we live that it can only promulgate its seed if the seed is applied to extreme heat, as in a forest fire. So that pine cone will not release its seeds unless it is in a fire.
Really?
Like, yeah. And so, and I thought it was fake. I thought if Joy's in here, she hasn't been in a while, but if she comes in, I thought it was fake. I had to look it up. I'm like, that's not true. It is actually true. So if a forest fire doesn't happen, those trees just keep growing, and then when they get super tall, they're more likely to get struck. They get struck, burns down, all the seeds pop out, it regrows. That's the cycle.
Yeah.
We could call the lightning or the fire bad, but then those trees would eventually break off, and the whole entire species would die out because, you know, it wouldn't be able to promulgate.
Exactly. And Aaron, with what Aaron said there, we can only control how we respond to things. I mean, that is something that I believe in very deeply, and I know a lot of people take issue with this statement, and I do agree to a certain degree with Mystic. Like, when you experience a particular emotion for a particular reason, you can begin to control your emotional reaction once you've experienced something a certain number of times, or something similar. But I believe that for the most part, because our emotions are chemical reactions in our brains, anger, love, lust, all of these things are chemical reactions in the brain. I don't think that we are highly capable of controlling our emotions. We are able to control how we react to how it is that we feel, what it is that we physically do in response to our emotions.
Did you know that when you become more able to change how you respond to the emotions, that the chemicals that create the emotional response start to come down? So
Yep.
you actually do change your emotional response to it. And it's
Over
a really
time,
neat
yeah.
cycle. Yeah, over time. And it's really neat to kind of be able to do that because it gives you more control,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
It does. I mean, it takes time, and you have to learn how to do it. To kind of get to that control. It doesn't mean that you don't feel anything. It just means that you know when and how to respond to it, appropriately. And you're able to use that, that frontal lobe that we're blessed with to, process what it is that we should do instead of what we immediately think we want to do. Which is generally what
Big deal.
which lands us in jail. 9 times out of 10, right? I mean, like, if we do what we want to do in the heat of the moment, 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to jail. So
Yeah. I mean, and it's true. It's what Chris is saying. At the end, it's just acceptance of the circumstance. Yeah, but it's also the power to know that even if you can't make a change to that circumstance now, you can make changes, and you still have the opportunity to have decisions.
mm-hmm.
Right? There's always a choice. It may not be choices you like, but there is a choice.
Exactly. So I'm curious, though, going back to the whole drug thing, because we kind of grazed on that and then kind of flew into other topics. So you say in
Drugs are
ritual.
bad. Okay.
I mean, if you take into consideration one of my previous statements where I believe that most musicians are probably better when they're on drugs, I know it's a bad thing to say, but honestly, like, just listen to the music. They get sober and their music goes to shit. So you say in ritual, the same as me, like you prefer to stay sober. What is an experience that you've had that you're willing to share, doing a meditation or an astral projection with an illicit substance that you believe enhanced the experience?
Oh, for sure. I can tell you the number one. Before I even go there, let me say I have been reading a new book by Ryan Smith. It's The Way of Fire and Ice is the original book, and it's an actual group of Norse style or Norse pantheon pagans.
Mm-hmm.
And his second book out actually is the first time I've seen it quantified in how these trances and things worked and how I've done things. And I have truly got into some probably the most heightened state I've ever been in through meditation and binaural beats alone. No drugs, no nothing.
Okay.
However, the experience that comes to mind first is with ketamine, and there is something about not the change or loss of the inhibitions. It is to me and in my life. It was extremely important that I was viewed as smart, and I have a very high IQ, and I know things, and I learn things well, and I'm good at what I do, and all of these
Mm-hmm.
things. And it is very hard for me, and especially in the past, not as much now because I've grown a lot since then, but in the past, it's very hard for me to lessen my inhibitions enough to experience something spiritual or something moving without like getting drunk, right? When I was in college, I was drunk probably half of the time. And if I had to do a presentation in front of somebody, I was drunk. Oh yeah, 3 shots before I'd go up in front of the class. Just how I always was. But I wasn't able to do anything ritual or trance with alcohol. That doesn't work for me at all. Just because of what it is, I guess, and how it works. So we did, a group of friends and I did ketamine together, and the experiences that I've had are probably the first and most eye-opening that I have experienced that's allowed me to even go on the journey in the first place
Mm-hmm.
of being open to things and allowing myself. It doesn't matter if somebody sees me at the beach sitting here, because you think you worry about what people look at you. People are staring at you. Somebody's gonna say, "Look at the weirdo over there," whatever. Those things, and that's just an example for the idea. Those things like ketamine and um, LSD once, both of them have, and I had number one full memory of everything that happened on them, which is not the same for alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
But this feeling of not not caring, but recognizing that it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what, and it's one of the reasons ketamine is making a big comeback to help with severe depression and things like that, is because it doesn't make you feel like you don't care. It doesn't make you feel like everything's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It removes the part of you that says, I want to do this, but I'm not going to because somebody's looking, or somebody's going to think this, or somebody's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really important thing for me back then. I would not have had the experiences I had with those people, where I had my first real, I think, experience with Dionysus, where there was an actual connection and there's actual conversation that I recall clearly.
Right.
That is an experience that I think I've had that experience before and since, but my brain didn't experience it that fully because of my own drawbacks and my own inhibitions and my own fears of what it's supposed to be in human. I mean, granted, I was 22, 23 at the time, so that's been 20 years. Things have changed, but that's an important piece of it. Especially at that age, you don't. I was always the weird kid. Most of us, probably everybody in this chat, could probably say that. And you don't want to stick out at that point. But those are, man, the ketamine of all things, that
Mm-hmm.
I think everything I experienced was absolutely the same thing I had experienced before, but my brain was allowing me to actually partake in it.
Yeah.
And that's what those things have done for me. Acid, the same thing, except I did spend a couple of hours with my tongue on one of those lightning balls, and I was chased around the room by two spots on the floor that I thought was a wild boar. And I looked in the mirror, which you are never supposed to do because your body does not morph like that. It doesn't just look like it's morphing. Your brain thinks it is morphing.
Yeah.
So not good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the two most clear experiences. But like I said before I even got into that, I've gotten to that same place now with meditation, binaural beats,
Mm-hmm.
frequencies, and things like that. So
Yeah,
it does
exactly.
the same thing to me. Visualizing, like and we talked about this too. The whole was it cymatics, visualization of sound. That'll put me right into it too, just as easy.
All right.
Y'all can tell
So
the shot's kicking in.
yeah, I can tell too. Curse, as he said, Allison Changes is a good example. I don't know if I want to say Allison Changes is a good example because the lead singer died of an overdose. Right. So I think he went a little above and beyond. Right.
Oh,
Like
so I've done a lot of powdered sugar in my life, like a lot. And it too, the thing that I enjoyed about it is you remember everything that happens and your brain is connected in a different way. But you can get there without the drugs.
mm-hmm.
It is possible.
You can.
It takes more work.
And
Plus your heart won't blow up from meditation like it will from cocaine.
Exactly.
I mean powdered sugar.
and Slim Lewis, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. I mean, obviously, there are musicians, they're doing something right because they continue to make money and records and things like that. But I think the biggest example, for example, I'm a huge Marilyn Manson fan. And I like all of his new stuff. I think his new stuff is good. But I think the best record that he's ever done, and this is going to be cliche as fuck, but is Antichrist Superstar. And during the recording of Antichrist Superstar, there was copious amounts of drugs, sleep deprivation, and self-mutilation happening, for the recording of that record. At least according to him, right? And honestly, as far as a concept album is concerned, it is out of this fucking world. You know, do I believe? No, I don't. I don't believe there's too many people saying that they've been pressured. I don't want to get into political opinion here, you know, regarding this, but there's too many people out there saying that they were pressured or almost forced into saying something happened that never happened. You know, so, you know, so it's just, I don't think so. And also, I'm also the type of person, I very easily separate the art from the artist. Even if he is found guilty and convicted, I will still enjoy his music. So, you know, it's I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to throw away all my Manson. No, motherfucker, I spent money on those. Like, you know, I'm not going to get rid of them. You know, it's still art that helped me through very difficult times in my life. You know, so Mystic, you're on a high right now. Keep going, keep them entertained. I need to step away for a moment. Okay.
Step away.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do? Like dance now or something?
You could do that if you want, or continue down the path of, you know.
Path. We'll continue down the path.
Okay, there you go.
So I was thinking, you know, from my perspective of things that I've done and still being able to get into trance and doing things that I do now without them, I would choose to do it without. And if I felt like I needed it to do any of the things, then I think that would be a big red flag too, because being locked into that would be pretty scary to me. Like you had to have it to do a ritual or to do a meditation, then I'd be concerned. But it always reminds me, or makes me think of, you know, like Native American tribes and other indigenous people all around the world who use substances not to an excess like we do or like I did and like we tend to do, but just in a way to kind of loosen those inhibitions and kind of get to that whole idea of a higher level. And I think as human beings, we are part of the natural universe in the world, and so are the plants, and so is the and I know a lot of people disagree with this, but I believe that there is a reason that plants activate certain receptors in a human's body. There's a design for that. Now, we overdo it because that's what we do. And don't shoot me. I'm not a huge Marilyn Manson fan. I'm not a Marilyn Manson fan, but it's not a go-to music for me. But anyway, so that's kind of my thought on it is, you know, what is we overdo everything. I do anyway. Like I don't do just a little bit of something. It's all or nothing in many cases. But, you know, I have had really great experiences from other things without drugs. But again, I kind of like the whole the idea that we can use some things, substances, even to calm us down. Like somebody mentioned, the Blue Lotus tea. I drink Tulsi tea a lot, and if I'm need to calm down or if I need to relax, I drink ginger tea. We have lots of loose leaf tea. We make tons of tea. Those are substances that affect us, right? They have an effect. Kava, Kana, and Kratom. These substances have an effect on us as humans, and that effect can often be opening up, lower inhibitions, but still having good judgment. You know, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, it's really easy to get to the point where you're so stuck on it. Hey, how's it going? Good. I am, but how's it going? You just broadcast on TV. Yeah, just don't do too much. That's I think where y'all. But yeah, I mean that's my thing on that. I've been pretty lucky to be able to stop things when I wanted to. I did a year of powdered sugar, and stopped because I didn't want to do it anymore. I quit caffeine again because I didn't want to do it anymore. I've cut out my diet Pepsis and Monsters because I don't want to do them anymore. They made me feel bad. I've been really lucky to be able to just stop smoking, vaping. Just I stopped because I wanted to. Not everybody can do that. So that is something beneficial for me, but I also think it comes from I can get myself into a state of trance extremely fast because I know exactly the sequence to get me there because I practiced it a lot. Yeah, you can't do powdered sugar in moderation because you will be on the corner getting more. I'm not kidding, dude. We had a literal egg-sized rock on a. I remember, like, just no. I should have died more than once.
Oh no, I trust me, I've been there, done that.
Whew. And I don't regret any of it. And that's what when people have asked me, even at work, like I'll tell you, I did. It was part of my life. I did a lot of X for a very long time. I enjoyed that part of my life. Sorry if I made out with a pillow in the wall.
I made out with a couch, man. So you know. But
I made out with a ficus tree that was shooting kittens at me.
I mean, that was Molly, though. That was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Point is, I think what I was kind of mentioning when you were out is there's a reason we are part of the world and part of the universe and part of nature, and that the plants react, our bodies react to the substances in plants. Humans just ruin shit because we do everything like crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I didn't need to just take a shot of 8 different kinds of kratom and kanna and kava. That's a human thing. I could have done just one leaf, which is probably what they do in normal.
Yep.
And here we are.
Yeah, but it's you know, enhancing the experience and carrying it longer than, you know, what it's supposed to, and you know, wanting to have that sensation longer. It is a human thing. It is most definitely a human thing. But I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. We as human beings for millennia have, you know, constantly found ways to push our limits. You know, it's why we're able to communicate the way we're communicating, because somebody wanted to push, you know, our intelligence beyond its limits. Now we're just going down a downward spiral in today's society. But, you know, there was a good peak back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, I mean, the thing is, right, but what's different now? We have compacted so much. Like, efficiency is what's killing us.
Mm-hmm.
We have compacted so much and made things so efficient that we have filled every second of every day with everything. Like, you used to work 8 hours, right? You get up, you get out of bed, you get ready for work, you go to work. When I do my home office weeks, I probably put in 80 hours because I roll out of bed, go into my office, and I work straight there and work until Brad gets home. And then, you know, I've worked that entire time, and it can kill you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, I am gonna have to call it right there. We are at the hour anyway. I have a sick kitty that needs attending to. I think there might be a vet visit in his future. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But I'm gonna call it right there. Hail thy kitty cat. Fucking sad world. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out. You guys are fucking amazing. It's been a great conversation as always, and of course, as always, hail thy fucking self. We'll see you in the fucking next one. Peace the fuck out, everybody.
Douches, I might be in Discord later.